Welcome back to my channel where I show you how to make fun and easy beginner-friendly crochet projects. Today we are going to be making this love letter book sleeve. If you're traveling at all this summer or you just like to read outside of your own house, book sleeves are a perfect way to keep your favorite books in perfect condition while you can enjoy them anywhere. I plan to take this with me everywhere this summer. Inside is my current read, which I will share with you. Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. It's got friends to lovers, fake dating, small town romance, everything you could want. Check it out. This project is very beginner friendly and I will have everything that you need to make your very own book sleeve linked in my Amazon storefront in the description below. And I'm going to show you how to make this book sleeve. Here's what you will need to make your own book sleeve. Medium weight yarn in 2 colors of your choice. I used white and red. A 4.5mm crochet hook, a button, scissors, a tapestry needle, and a book for sizing. To begin, we're going to use our first color. I'm using white, a 4.5mm crochet hook. This is the only hook you will need for the entire project, and the book of your choice. I'm using a paperback book, and then my book sleeve should fit any paperback book that I have that is of this equal size. So we're going to begin by creating a slip knot. Then we're going to attach that to our hook. And we are going to chain slightly shorter than the book spine. Because this project is made using double crochets, the base of the book sleeve will get a little bit of height from the double crochets. So if you chain the length of your book spine, it'll be a bit bigger. If you want it to be bigger, you can totally do that. I did that one time, and then that book sleeve fit 2 books instead of 1. Also, because these are made with double crochets, they have some stretch to them. So if you're using a thinner book or a thicker book, it should fit in here. So there is my final chain, so you can see what it looks like compared to my book spine. You don't need to make it too much shorter than the book spine. We just need to account a little bit for the double crochets that we are going to be using. So we are going to start in the stitch that is the second from the hook, and we are going to put a double crochet in that chain. Just like that. So we are just going to put a double crochet in every chain down until we get to the last stitch. In the last stitch, we are going to be putting 3 double crochets instead of 1, but I'll show you that. I'm going to speed this up, and then I'll show you when I get to the end where to do the 3 double crochet. So there is our 1 double crochet in every chain, and in this last chain we are going to put 3 double crochets. So there's our first one, our second one, and the third one. So this is one side, and now we are going to be working into the other side of the chain. So we are going to turn our work and work into this other side of our starting chain. So we're going to go right into that stitch. This is on the other side of where we did the 3 double crochets, and we're just going to repeat that. So we're going to do 1 double crochet in every stitch, but then we're going to do 3 double crochets in our last stitch, which is the first stitch that we placed a double crochet in at the beginning. I'll speed this up, and then I will show you where to put those last 3 double crochets. Okay, there is our double crochet in each stitch, and this is our last chain right here. On the other side, you can see that is where we did our first double crochet, and we are going to put 3 double crochets in this chain space. Just like that. So this is the base, and now as you can see, it is the length of my book spine. So to finish this off, we are just going to slip stitch into the first stitch. Just like that. For each round, we are going to follow these same instructions, so we're just going to chain 2, and then we are going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch around. Our chain 2 does not count as a stitch. What that means is we are going to put our first double crochet right back into the stitch that the chain 2 is in. So I'll speed this up and show you, but we're just putting 1 double crochet in each stitch around. Right here is my final double crochet, and then I will show you how we're going to finish this off. We're just going to slip stitch right back into that first stitch right there. As you can see, it's already starting to curl around the spine, and that's exactly what we want. So now I'll do this one more time for you, but we are going to chain 2, and we are going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And you're just going to keep repeating this round until it measures the length of the book. So I'll speed this up again and then show you one more time how we are going to join the round. All right, we are back at the beginning again. So to join this, we are just going to do a slip stitch into our first double crochet. So as you can see, it is starting to curl around the spine of the book now, and we're just going to repeat this until it measures the entire length of the book. I'll check in at the halfway point. I'm about halfway done at this point, and I'll check back in when I'm fully done. And this is what your book sleeve should look like when it is completely done. As you can see, it covers the entire book, and it fits very nicely in there. So to finish this, we are just going to do as we've done each round, slip stitch into that first stitch, and then you can fasten off and cut your yarn. So this is the completed base of the book sleeve, and next I'm going to show you how to do the triangle envelope flap. For the triangle flap of the book sleeve, we are going to work along 1/2 of the book sleeve. So we're going to start by reattaching our yarn about 2 to 3 stitches to the left of the center stitch on one of the sides of the book. I actually recommend doing this even a few stitches over from where I did it in the video, because we're going to add the shell stitch border, and that adds a little bit of height to the triangle. So we're going to chain 2. We're going to put a double crochet in each stitch along half of the book sleeve. I recommend trying to make an even number of double crochets at this point, because we're going to be doing decreases, and it'll be a lot easier if you have an even number. Okay, once you get to the halfway point, it should look something like this. We're going to chain 2 and turn our work. So we're going to be alternating between 2 rows to do these decreases, and in the first one we are going to start with 2 double crochet decreases. So to do a double crochet decrease, we are going to yarn over and insert our hook into our first stitch, pull up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook, and you should still have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into your next stitch, pull up a loop. There's 4 loops on your hook now. Yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops. There's 3 loops, and now yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So I'll show you that one more time. We're going to yarn over, insert into our first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on our hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on our hook. So there are our first 2 double crochet decreases. Now we are just going to put a double crochet in each stitch along until we have 4 stitches left at the end, where we are going to do 2 more double crochet decreases. So I'll speed this up, but you're just going to place a double crochet in each stitch until you have 4 remaining at the end. Now that we have 4 stitches left, we are going to do 2 more double crochet decreases to finish this row. So in the first 2 stitches will be our first double crochet decrease, and then the second 2, or the third and the fourth stitch, will be our other double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3. And that is the end of our row, so we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. This is what your first row of decreases should look like. And this is our second decrease instructions. So in this row, we are only going to do 1 double crochet decrease at the beginning of the row and 1 double crochet decrease at the end of the row. So there is our first double crochet decrease, and now we are going to do a double crochet in each stitch along until there are 2 stitches left, and then we're going to do our last double crochet decrease. So just put 1 double crochet in each stitch until you have 2 left. Okay, so we have 2 stitches left. I'm going to do my last double crochet decrease. And there is what our 2 rows of decreases look like, and we're just going to repeat those 2 rows alternating until it forms a triangle. So chain 2, I'll show you one more time. We're going to chain 2 and turn. And on this row, we are going to do 2 double crochet decreases at the beginning and the end of the row. So we're going to start with the 2 double crochet decreases. There's our first one. And there's our second one. So now we are just going to double crochet in each stitch along the row until there are 4 stitches left. Now that there are 4 stitches left, we are going to do 2 more double crochet decreases. So there's our first one. And there's our second. As you can see, it is starting to slant inwards, so we are going to chain 2 and turn. And I will show you the second decrease row one more time. So in this row, we are going to do 1 double crochet decrease at the beginning and the end. So there's our double crochet decrease. Now we're going to do a double crochet in each stitch along until we have 2 stitches left at the end. Right here we have 2 stitches left, so we are going to do our last double crochet decrease. And there we go. I'm going to cut ahead to my last few rows here. So in this row I have 6 stitches, and since I cannot do 2 double crochet decreases at the beginning and the end, I'm just going to do 1 at the beginning and 1 at the end. And then we are going to do 2 double crochets in between those. So as you can see, we're almost finished now. We have 1 row left. So we're going to chain 2 and turn. And since I'm left with 4 stitches in this row, I am going to just do 2 double crochet decreases. And that will finish it off. So there's our first one. There's our second, and that is the end of our triangle. So as you can see, it now folds over, and it's starting to take the shape of our envelope. So now you can just fasten off and cut your yarn. And then I'm going to show you how to do the shell stitch border. Here is what it looks like with our book in it. If you don't want to do the shell stitch border, you could definitely leave it at this point, but I'm going to show you how to do that if you would like to add it as well. So to do the shell stitch border, it's really helpful to have a cleaner edge around the triangle, so we are going to make that now. We're going to reattach our yarn to the corner. And then we are just going to slip stitch along the edge of the triangle flap evenly. There's no rhyme or reason to this, but just try your best to make it as even as you possibly can. I'll show you a few. We're just going to go right along that edge and insert slip stitches wherever they feel necessary. And then I'll speed ahead and show you what it looks like when it's complete. So there's our first couple. As you can see, it just really evens out the edge and makes it look cleaner, but it's also very helpful for the shell stitch border. There is our triangle after we did the slip stitches. So now we are just going to fasten off and cut our yarn, and then we're going to do the shell stitches. So once again, we are going to reattach our yarn to that same corner where we started our slip stitches, right into that first slip stitch, but we are going to attach our yarn with a single crochet. So to do the shell stitch, we are going to skip our first stitch, and then into the second one you are going to put 5 double crochets. into the same stitch. And then again, we're going to skip the next stitch, and into the one directly after that, we are going to place a single crochet. And that is our first shell stitch, so we're going to repeat that. Skip the stitch directly next to the single crochet, and into the second one, we are going to place 5 double crochets. And then skip the stitch directly after that, and into the second one we are going to place our single crochet. And you're just going to repeat that all the way around. So when you're finished, the shell stitch border should look something like this. And to finish this off, we are just going to slip stitch into the same stitch that we did our last single crochet, and then you can cut and fasten off your yarn. So you can weave in all your ends at this point, or you can leave them to the end. But this is what our book sleeve is starting to look like. I'll show you what it looks like with the book in it now. And next I'm going to show you how to make the heart that'll go down here. With the yarn color of your choice, I'm using red, and a 4.5mm crochet hook, we are going to create a magic ring. And then we are going to chain 2. All of our stitches are going to be placed into the magic ring, so we are going to put 3 triple crochets. There's our first one. Our second one. And the third one. So there's your 3 triple crochets, and next we are going to do 3 double crochets into the magic ring. There is half of our heart. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to repeat those stitches but in the opposite order. So we are going to do 3 double crochets, and then we are going to do 3 triple crochets, There's our triple crochets, and then we are going to chain 2, and you can pull it slightly tight at this point, but don't pull it all the way. And then we are going to slip stitch into the magic ring to join. And at this point you can pull it tight. And you should have a heart. So you can cut and fasten off your yarn. And there is our heart. I'll show you how we are going to attach it. So on your book sleeve, we are just going to attach it right at the bottom of our triangle. We're going to use a tapestry needle. And I do this in a very simple manner. I just take the two little tails that we have on our heart, and you're going to start with one of them and put it in your tapestry needle. On the heart, I like to feed the yarn through the stitches until it is basically in the middle of the heart, on the back side. And what we're going to do is we are going to place our heart where we want it, and we're just going to feed that tail through our shell stitches. We're going to do the same with the other tail of the yarn. On the back of the heart, I'm going to center that tail. And then I'm going to feed it through that shell stitch. So to secure the heart, I just tie a few knots. Just like that. So I'm going to show you two different options for where you can place the button. Our first option is just going to be on the back of the heart. So I'm still going to use those two tails, and we're just going to use those to stitch our button onto the book sleeve. You're going to weave through the buttonholes with the first tail. And then feed it back through the book sleeve. And then to make this extra secure, I'm just going to thread the other tail through the button as well. Just like that. And to secure this, I'm just going to tie a knot. And then you could weave those ends in and cut them. So the way that this one works is when you have a book in the book sleeve, you will fold it down, and then you're just going to insert the button between two of the double crochets. This method is good if you're using a lot of books of different thickness, because the button can be inserted anywhere on the book sleeve. So that is option 1 for the button, and next I'm going to show you a second option, and I actually prefer this option more. So for the second option for attaching the button, we will be attaching the button to the base of the book sleeve, just like that. And then we will almost be creating like a little loop out of chains that will then slip around the button. So to do this, we are going to take the yarn. I'm going to reattach my yarn at the point of our triangle, but I'm going to do it under the shell stitch. So it's on the back side of the slip stitches that we did around the triangle flap that we then did the shell stitches into. So once your yarn is attached, you are just going to chain 10. If you have a bigger button, you may need to chain more than this, but my button's pretty small, so this ended up working perfect for me. You can check before you fasten it off by just kind of looping the chain around and then seeing if your button fits in it or not. When you have the length that you need it to be, we're just going to slip stitch right back into the first stitch that we attached our yarn into. And that is your loop. So now you can fasten off and cut your yarn. And this is optional, but if you want to make this a little bit more secure, you can take the starting tail and our ending tail of yarn and knot them a few times before you weave in your ends. So there is our loop, and now we are just going to attach our button. To see where we need to attach our button, I have a book in the book sleeve, and I am going to fold the flap down and see where that loop of chains kind of ends up. And that is where we are going to place our button. So to do this, you're just going to cut a long strand of your yarn and thread it through your tapestry needle. I'm going to take the book out to attach the button. And we're going to start from the inside of the book sleeve. So with our button in the place that we want it, we're just going to reach into the book sleeve. And we are going to bring our needle and yarn through one of the holes on the button. I'm going to leave a pretty long tail inside to help us secure the button later. Now I'm going to feed my needle and yarn through the diagonal button and pull that tightly through. And we're just going to repeat that. I'm going to go through one of the last two holes that we have on the button, pull our yarn through, and then insert it back through the opposite hole. And that is how we sew our button on. So to secure this, I'm going to flip my book sleeve inside out. And similar to how we did with the loop of chains, I'm going to take our starting tail of yarn and our ending tail of yarn, and I'm going to knot this a few times just to make sure it's super secure. And then you can weave these ends in nicely. I just did not do that yet at this step. And that is our second option for the button. I will show you how this works with a book in it. Just like that. here's a book that here's a book that is slightly thicker than the one I've been using, and as you can see, it fits perfectly as well. And like I mentioned earlier, these book sleeves are a little bit stretchy since we used double crochet to make them. So if you have two books that are not super thick, you might even be able to put both of them in the book sleeve together. Just like that. This next part is very optional, but I had a lovely follower on Instagram who asked if this could be turned into a purse. So I'm going to show you how you could add a strap to this book sleeve or even make it a purse. So we're going to reattach our yarn along the edge of our book sleeve. Since I'm starting on this side, I'm going to count 4 stitches away from where our triangle flap begins. And my 4th stitch is actually going to be right in that same stitch that the triangle flap began. So I reattached my yarn and then I chained 2, and we're just going to put a double crochet in that same stitch that our chain 2 was in, and we are going to do a double crochet in the next 3 stitches as well. Now we are going to chain 2, and we're just going to repeat that until the strap is your desired length. So chain 2 and put a double crochet in each stitch. And then I will show you how we are going to reattach it to the other side. There's what the first few rows look like. Then you're just going to keep going however long you want it to be. So this is how long I made my strap, and I'm going to show you how to reattach it to the other side. So we're going to line up our strap with the side of the book sleeve. So I'm starting on the stitch that is the last stitch that the triangle flap was in. I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch on my strap, and then I'm going to insert it into that stitch on the book sleeve, and we're just going to slip stitch through both stitches. You're going to do this for all 4. So into the stitch on the strap, into the stitch on the book bag, and then slip stitch through both. Once you finish that, you can just fasten off and cut your yarn. If you choose to make this into a purse, you may want to add a lining to the inside so that your items don't fall through the stitches. I have linked a very easy beginner-friendly tutorial in the description below that can help you out with how to do that. And now you have a super cute purse, or even just a book sleeve with a strap. I think this was a wonderful idea, so thank you to whoever recommended it. Here is it with a book if you just want to make a strap for your book sleeve so that when you're taking it out of the house, you can just carry it like a purse. And it's super cute. Optional, I did not end up doing this, but you totally can. You can add slip stitches along both sides of the strap to give it a cleaner edge, kind of like we did with the triangle before we added the shell stitch border on top. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you make a love letter book sleeve of your own, please tag me on social media. All of them are linked in the description below. And comment below what book you are currently reading. I'm always looking for new books to read, and I love hearing what people are loving at the moment. As always, like this video and subscribe for more fun and easy beginner-friendly crochet projects from me. Thanks for watching!